within minutes. That was some lovely music. Lovely music into the ears of everybody. I can't take advantage of this station because I have to pay the bill. And just to give the short, you can, when you have a radio, you can Google Sri Lanka and find radio stations in Sri Lanka. And that is how you do it in order to get it done. So today I woke up and whenever I woke up I had this hangover. But lately I don't. And it is not so much hangover as before. I don't know why but I think it is starting to heal. Something is healing up of the past, like a plaster, like what is that in English? Plaster on the wound. I think maybe I can do this as a topic. Plaster on the wounds. I think that is a good topic. Plaster on wounds. Time does us wrong many times. The time is unjust. It's just this. Time is, and that is what is. You can't change what has happened, but you can change how you deal with the experience you have on in your life. Whatever happens, and you can't really do anything about it. I heard a man, old man, said to me in a rejecting way, I think it was in a rejecting way. He said that it's not how you are that is important. It is how you take it. Sometimes we take it in a very... I have experienced that many times. When I say something, people take in the worst way, even though I didn't mean like that. Just a simple question. It didn't mean anything wrong. It was just this simple question. And maybe people that are so down, beaten down, that they take anything, even a question, even a simple sentence, in the worst way. You see, we need healing. We need a plaster on the wound. We need some covering of a blessing. We need the covering. And the covering is the blessing that I think is provided. I had many accidents in Kenya. And sometimes I could just have a scratch on my foot or something. Always had these scratches or penetrations of a needle or something, thorn that became inflamed. It was an inflammatory, let me see, it became inflammation to this wound, and it didn't really help with a plaster. It didn't. You can do so much, but but after two or 3 days, it became so inflamed that it drained out this moist, I need Google in many these fluids that came out of these inflammations, and it built itself up. And as soon as it was a wound, I saw the flies came to this place and suck up, and of course they must have laid some eggs or something that made this inflammation possible. But every so often I went out, it became very frequent that I was in need of cleaning up this wound. That was in Kenya. I remember that because it was a very frequent happening. Every time I was playing my football or something happened that made, I didn't recognize it at the moment, but it appeared after a while. Maybe I didn't wash my body as much as I should have, even though I washed it every night before I slept. I don't know, I think I did. Or I was told, so I did. I don't know, it was just like that. That I can't remember. I blocked it out of my mind. And that was the happening. Many times I did it. And sometimes I went to the dispensary in order for fixing that wound. Sometimes I could do it myself because I managed to fix it in a okay way. So you see, we need coverage of the wound. Plaster that covers and protects the wound. And that is physical wounds. But we have also emotionally wounds. We have some growth wound that is because we are vulnerable to different things, and maybe people that are keeping for themselves or very silent or don't say anything, and they become more sensitive year by year. More sensitive, more vulnerable, and it doesn't feel good. And people go into this self-protective mode, like the tortoise is self-protecting because it depends on its shield in order to be protected. People do it like that. They keep to themselves. They don't want to talk with anyone. They don't want to open up. I spoke with someone the other day that sometimes when we are out, we don't open up to people. I'm more or less polar opposite. I like to see people. I like I like to sorry for that. I need water, I need this, I need that. You see, by wounds, we are hurt. That is a kind of an obvious statement. And from ages, I've been talking about healing lately, faith, the light, the praying for past, present and future. I think to pray as deep as it can be, it is not to pray is not that kind of exercise that you need to prove yourself. No, it is the polar opposite. Praying doesn't have to do anything to prove yourself. And I was into something some days ago that to pray for yourself is not right or something. I think you need to pray for yourself. To be protected, to be covered up, to be a recipient of a healing process. I think many people have this cancer of emotional wounds that they will in the end develop maybe something worse. Something about something in us, in our memory line, that harms us, that makes us vulnerable, that makes us want to hide, want to act differently from who we really are. We want to be someone that we are not. We are in a self-denial, self-rejection, self-loathing. And we also hate and despise and loathe other people. Because we are hurt, because we are wounded, because we feel out of order, we feel second-hand, we feel like an underdog. We have all these issues that we can't handle with ourselves, that is so hard on us. We need coverage. We need some plaster on the wound in order to feel and know that someone... I went to the dispensary in Kenya. We had a local dispensary there where everyone that was sick, malaria, dysentery, my mother had the dysentery. She was food poisoned. That can happen. And she was so drained. And the nurse on the dispensary said, "What is this? This seems to be malaria." And she was treated for malaria. First she got tablets, then injection. And in the end she came to the Kisumu hospital. I can't remember. It was a very nice hospital. I didn't like it there, but it was a nice environment. And she came to this hospital. I was at the school back in those years. My siblings was too. We were at the same place. But when we came home, father brought us or collected us and said that mother is in the hospital. So I think you can go and meet her. Before that happened, I remember well when I saw my mother laying there in the bed. She was not well. At Thessalia, in the house there, we called it Bjarne Lind's house because Bjarne Lind and his family lived there. But when they went home, we moved in there. But in the meantime, we were attending the Nyambare Hill school with the Tveter. And while we were at the school, we heard it. But before that, she wasn't moving. She was just vomiting and diarrhea and all this messy. And we went out, we were invited, and she ate some eggs. But she warned us all, don't eat those eggs. Don't eat them. And she ate them because she wanted to be polite. But she got so sick. So she ended up in the hospital. But I remember Mom lay there in some yellow garment. And when they clamped her skin, when they touched her skin, it was just so dry that it wouldn't go back down. So she ended up in this hospital, and the doctor furiously said, if you have waited only one more day, you would be dead. One more day, and you would be gone. He was furious. Dysentery. So I went to those dispensaries and got coverage. It was a hard feeling when the sister was fixing up the wound. Sometimes I think I even cried because I am a sensitive guy. So, but they say that hurt will fix the wound. Hurt will remove the hurt. So it was a comforted moment that I got some treatment for this. And you see, wounds needs treatment, healing. In order for healing, sometimes we need to experience some hard. They say that this surgical knife will remove the sickness. But even if a little drop of this inflammation is on the fresh wound, it will start again. So you need to be so carefully dealing with this wound so it doesn't drop any bad stuff. And you have to rinse it up with Pyricept or something, and Fusidine, that is killing all the bacteria that can be established in this wound. So you see, hurt will drive out the hurt. Sometimes the surgical knife needs to go deeper in order to remove what is rotten. I'm not only talking about emotionally wounds, but I think also social, environmental wounds that have been intoxicated. The whole society, the whole country, the whole humankind. We need to go in and see and examine what exactly the problem is in order to make healing happen. To cover yourself is mandatory. It is a good, I think, prayer. Even if you are not a Christian or a Jew or anything else that promotes you to pray. But to pray have been proven to work. To pray is to go in and see what can I do in order to erect my wrongs, to do right, to heal up what has happened to me. Maybe I needed this experience. You can see a different way of healing is to accept that this was happening because a reason. The reason for why I'm feeling this hurt and wound is because I needed the development of my perspective, of my maturity, that I needed to evolve into wisdom and knowledge about myself, so I can be more carefully when I interact with other people, and not be so blunt, not be so shy, not be so rude, not be so underdoggy. You see, there are different ways of healing, and to show some pathetic acts or rude acts is no much difference. We need to go into some erection of ourselves, of our society. We should be spokespeople. The religious and Christians and Jews should be spokespersons for erecting the society into a new era where moral, decency and just is guiding our people. When the Messiah is coming, he will heal the whole world. Tikkun Olam is healing the world. Tikkun Olam is a Jewish word for healing the world. And they take the task upon themselves. Be aware of that. It is a good intention, because by trying to heal yourself, not to be introvert and but to heal yourself, is to go to your neighbor, is to see people for who they are. Part of the healing process is covering yourself by not maybe even see yourself as the victim. By covering all these internal disputes and turmoil, you will reach out to other people with the blind side to yourself and your own suffering. So you don't need to always talk about your own suffering, but you can interact with people that needs this comforted talk. Let the talk with other people be a comfort to them. And what is comforting others will obviously comfort you. Healing by covering up the wound You will heal it from infections and toxications. They are talking about a global crisis and environment crisis. Maybe it is. In that case, we need to do something really changes, both in our mind, because part of the nature is in our mind. We can't hide any longer. We know, we human beings, we know our own thing. We know our own, what do you call it? Failures. We know our own self in order to know what is wrong, what is bad. Don't be judged by others. Please don't go there. Don't be judged by others, because that will make you fall. That will make you break. To be judged by others will break your spirit. Who is judging Israel today? Others. Even me. I want to judge. Maybe I should leave that away. What would I then have to say? Talk the truth. Be right in your saying. Be correct in your saying. Don't go left or right. Go straight forward. Be honest. Never lie. Yes, don't answer. Don't answer. So that is what is happening. We need to cover up. Not be cowardly, covering up. Not to hide our intentions. I don't like intentions anyway. You can openly say what your mind is all about. So today is Friday. It's soon going to be Shabbat. And part of this Shabbat is having food. And now in Israel's Shabbat, they only eat this dried matzah bread. It is done in 8 minutes because they had to hurry out of Egypt. It is part of the Passover thing. So they need to quickly make this matzah bread without any yeast or anything like that. Only wheat flour. I don't know what it was, but they made it in a rush. And 8 minutes on the heater, then it was done. Then you could eat it and break it and perforate it with all this perforation. I think now they are swiping out all things that can be inflammatories, inflammations in their own society. They need to clean out what could be of any rest of the yeast. Now they have sold out all the bread or yeast that could be in their own ownership. Now Arab own the whole bread company in Israel. After the Passover, he will sell it back. But we need to remove everything that is making the wound. So we need to cover up, forget it, or heal it by accepting it. Okay, I wish you all Shabbat Shalom and peace for Israel.